Oz here. Thanks for joining me in the studio. For today's video, I thought I would show you a bit more of junk journal ephemera I've been making. Can't help myself, I just seem to like to make ephemera, and it is really handy to have a little stash of, or a big stash of ready to go ephemera for all kinds of projects, whether it's cards or scrapbooking or journaling of any description. It's great to have a little stash ready to go, and that can help you move your project along. So these ones I made, most of the stuff I made in the last couple of weeks. These are journaling cards. They're made out of index cards. The cards are quite flimsy, so I stuck two together, and they've just got a little bit of junk papers and possibly a sticker, and I did a little bit of my own coloured sticky tape. I just used a alcohol marker to cover that. So they're really simple. Now, a lot of these little projects are not completely finished because I do like to put the finishing touches on to the projects to match the journal that I'm making. Again, I've gone for a vintage vibe because that is what I tend to use the most. So these ones are very simple. A little piece of music paper, a pattern paper, a little square, a little piece of ephemera or an image or something, and possibly a little sticker. So really simple. These are also great projects to use up your leftovers. So I often go through my little bin, boy I've got some bins, and pick out bits of paper. The other one I did, because I have a whole box of these, I have a whole box of these tags, I have a whole box of tags like this. They've got a blue border, a red border and a green border, but they're just blank. And I thought, what can I do to make them a bit more exciting and a bit more usable? So I grabbed them out and very quickly just stamped on them in black. So different stamps. I do like words and numbers, so a few leaves here, maybe a swirl, leaves and numbers, and then I dabbed over them with some distress ink in a brown. And I've made quite a few. I've already used some of these. They're not a sticker, they just glue them on, but I thought they were a great way to use up these because I have a whole swathe of them. Another one I've been doing is using doilies to make over the page ephemeras. Now this is just a plain small doily, probably a bit smaller than my hand, but because they're quite flimsy, and I've seen people make these without backing them, I've just backed them with a piece of light card. So this is just a plain blue one. So this is a blue theme, and the idea is you can use a paper clip and clip it over the top of the journal, and that can actually make a nice tuck spot. So this one's in blue tones. Again, I did a little bit of brown around the edges. This one is more green and brown with a butterfly. Again, that's my tea bag, my decorated tea bag tag. So again, I've gone through the bin, pulled out a few bits and pieces, found a little sticker and a little floral sticker for my focal point. This one again is a little bit green and brown. You can put as much as you like or as little as you like on them. And this one is slightly different because I made this one to go on the side. So this one is more vertical, and I did a bee theme. So I scratched around and got a few things that match bee theme. So this is a same thing. You can pin it to the side page of your journal with the paper clip, and it makes a nice tuck spot. I like the way they go over the page. And again, I backed this one with some lovely bee themed paper. This one's just got plain ones, and you can also use them if you put pale paper. You can use them as a journaling spot as well. Another one I made, and I did these yesterday, I did some just plain little clusters. So I got a piece of book page from a very old book. The book has really good images in it, and I thought, what am I going to do with all these leftover bits of paper? So I chose the leftover bits of page that had a little bit of word on them, and I just used a very cheap watercolour set and a brush and swathed a bit of brown on one little stamp, and I actually used a little piece of cardboard tubing to stamp some and a splatter. Again, not necessarily finished. You could put these on a card, you could put them on a tag, you could glue them into a journal, you could make them a lot bigger, smaller. So I just made these, and this is on, so leftover book pages onto brown packaging paper you receive in the parcels. I did a few slightly different colours. This one I put a couple of words on. I did some in grey and some in black. I actually really like them. I thought they turned out really, really nice. You can make them as exciting or as plain you want. And again, they've still got the possibility of zhuzhing them up to match your project. So I was actually really, really happy with these. So these are my little ephemera bits that I've made lately. A lot of these are quick and easy. A lot of them can use, because they're small, can use bits and pieces out of your scrap bin, bits of leftovers. You could put ribbon on, you could stamp more, you could put bling on, you could put a lot more on. I think these are great. I reckon you could really actually do a lot more with these. You could stitch lace or ribbon on the edges. Now, because these were just a plain large scallop doily, I just cut them out with scissors. And if you don't want to cut them out with scissors, just cut a circle. Get a plate or a circle die and just cut a circle around, and you don't even have to worry about the scallops. Anyway, thought I'd show you a bit of the ephemera I've been working on. I'm really happy with them. They'll go in my stash, which is forever growing bigger day by day. But it's just a lot of fun. And if you're not into making something really big at the moment, or you want to do some bits and pieces for your journal but you don't want to spend all day, you don't have a lot of time, doing a little bit of quick ephemera. These ones were very quick to make. Actually, most of them, I think these were the quickest because I just laid them all in a row and went stamp, stamp, stamp. So you don't have to spend a lot of time to make a bit of quick ephemera, and once they're in your stash, you've got them ready to go to next time. Anyway, thanks for joining me. See you for another video later.